Now I'm going to show you how to make some donuts today. Now it's a little bit of a shortcut because I'm not going to reprove them afterwards, but it's a pretty straightforward recipe, and if you love donuts, you're going to love these. Now to start with, I've got strong white flour in the bowl, I've got some sugar, I've got some salt, I've got some fast action yeast, and I've got some egg. So my flour's in a bowl, add my sugar, fast action yeast, a bit of salt, crack an egg in there. I've got some warm milk in here as well. Start with 3/4 of it in it first. I'm going to give this a stir. All we're doing is incorporating all the ingredients together. So at this stage, I just want to see how much liquid this flour is going to take. Keep the bowl rotating, nice and gently at this stage. You're breaking up the egg in there as well. That brings more liquid, obviously. It's like an enriched dough, this. You've got no butter in there, but it is like an enriched dough. Feel that? Yeah, a little bit more milk.
What are you feeling for?
So I'm feeling to see how stiff it is, see if it's not such a hard, thick dough. You don't want it, it's quite a soft dough, this one. It's not necessarily a very hard one. So that's about right, actually. So you give this more of a mix. Before I get my hand in there, feels about right. I'm basically just going to get underneath and fold the outside into the middle, nice and gently. If you've got a mixer, you can pop this straight into a mixer and use a dough hook. Mix it for about 5-10 minutes and then cover it up, and there you are, good to go. Now that's formed a nice ball now. I'm just slapping the dough and then rolling it up constantly. This is essentially doing what a mixer would do. All I'm doing is using my heel of my palm and then stretching it by rolling it up, building up that gluten. And what you can do, at that stage you can leave it in a bowl, leave it for half an hour, it begins to grow, knock the air back, and then do the same thing again for a couple of minutes. It gives you a little bit of a break as well. You see it's getting much smoother and smoother. So once that's lovely and smooth, which is quite like this, you need to rest it in a bowl, covered up, until it at least doubles in size. It could take half an hour, it could take an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on the temperature inside your kitchen. In the summer, it might only take an hour, half an hour, an hour. That goes into a bowl and left to rest. Now, you'll end up with a dough that's at least doubled in size like this. You can see how light it is. See all the bubbles inside it as well. I'm not going to take too much air out of it at this stage, but what I'm going to do is have a quick look at a piece of dough. Just get a little piece of dough like that. Get a raspberry, which I've got here. You can use bits of banana if you want as well, it works quite nicely. And just roll it up, coat it in there so it's covered, and then roll it up in your hand like that. You can't see the raspberry, it's covered in dough, okay? Bit of flour, stop it from sticking. Get another little piece of dough, just a little piece like that. Get your raspberries, these are quite big raspberries actually, I hope I can cover it. The dough's quite thin because it's only a small piece of dough and it's a large raspberry. You roll it up again with your hands to a little ball, pop it down in the flour. So again, take a little rip of dough. They're not very big. Open it up with your fingers, get your raspberry, pop it right into the middle, and then begin to wrap the dough around the raspberry. You end up with a little parcel like that. Now this will make probably 50, maybe more, so you can actually keep it in your fridge that day and use them intermittently, or just make a load of them and freeze them at this stage. All you have to do is defrost them overnight in your fridge, bring them out, and they should be fine to fry actually. Because all I'm going to do, I'm not going to prove them now. It's actually going to go straight into the fryer. The oil is preheating at the moment in my pan. I'm taking it to medium to high. You don't want it too low because the donuts will be oily. You don't want to be too high because they'll just burn. You want it right in the middle. It won't take very long. I've got enough here to get on with. I can hear my oil now. I'm just going to pop it in there. So I tested one of the little pieces of dough in there and it dropped to the bottom, rose up and started to colour. It's a good indication it's nice and hot. Now these little balls over here are going to go straight into the fryer. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It instantly drop to the bottom and then instantly pop up actually, so it's up and down motion. What's happening is the yeast in there has been forced to expand, which creates air, and then it rises. So straight away it's beginning to colour quite nicely. Get a nice strong colour on them. You can see these here, they're looking about right now. See that golden brown? You'll have a little white blob right down at the bottom, which is okay. The rest of it is done. Now they're going to come out now. So the thing is about doughnuts, see the colour? Straight into the caster sugar. What you need to do is coat these in the caster sugar. The caster sugar will stick to the oil, creating these beautiful little miniature donuts like this. So you start with the raspberry, a little bit of dough, and you end up with little donuts. Now, the thing is about these, you can fill them with little bits of banana, mango, chocolate works really well. So get your favorite chocolate, pop it inside, seal it up, chuck it in the fryer, and you'll end up with instant donuts. And these are quite hot to eat, but I'll try and have a bite. Now, don't forget, traditionally in the UK, a donut is, well, the donut, the actual dough itself with sugar on the outside, but what does it have inside? Raspberry jam. But inside this is a raspberry. And believe me, that little bit of tartness from the raspberry, sweetness from the sugar, put them in a little petit four case. Had them as part of afternoon tea. They are absolutely delicious. Now, if you've enjoyed this and you want to get baking some more, look at all the other recipes on Paul Hollywood's Easy Bakes. Click subscribe, click like, and enjoy baking or frying. It's the same really. These are delicious.